Hello, I'm Heather, and I I'm going to share some nuggets of wisdom that Corinne and I have been talking about on Marco Polo. She hasn't been available for us to do a Zoom in a while, and so even though some of our Marco Polo videos do make it here on Art of Processing, I just took a bunch of notes and still wanted to share them with this channel. Yeah, a couple of the keys are I'm really enjoying the silly faces. You'll notice maybe that frequently the thumbnail of one of our videos is me making a crazy face. And I started a game on social media over the past week where I'm like, we'll play a game that all of us win. I'm going to post a picture of me making a silly face, and I'd like you to post a picture in the comments of you making a silly face. What do we win? A giggle. We all win. So that's kind of my one of my favorite games right now. So what I wanted to share is some of the notes that I took from my conversation with Corinne. She has been doing an incredible amount of work. Her and her mother have done Dr. Gabor Mate's trauma course together over the past about month. And so much has happened there. And hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, Corinne and her mom will come do an art of processing video about the trauma course and what that experience was like for them. And yeah, it sounds like it's been incredible. And there's been a level of communication available between the two of them that never existed before. And so that feels like a huge win. Let's see. Oh, some of the other stuff that Corinne was talking about is how, like, the doubt monster, when the fear comes up or the doubt comes up or the, kind of, she calls them also gremlins, like full on talking to the gremlins or the doubt monster and even naming the doubt monster. I think she said she's naming her Grimmy, I think. There's a couple keys. One is that when an intense feeling comes up, it's actually been scientifically proven that if you just go ahead and let yourself feel it fully, it passes in like 90 seconds. And that can feel like a really long time, but the resistance to it is what actually elongates and intensifies the experience. If you keep trying to push it away, but instead, if you can reframe and think, okay, this is information. This is a part of me that is coming forward to say, I'm scared and I'm trying to keep you safe. And so the only way I know how is to speak in these really scary terms and to send you these really awful feelings. That's the only way that it knows how to communicate. Kind of like how toddlers don't really know how to communicate. So the best way to kind of respond to those big feelings and intensity is, okay, I hear that you have something you need to say to me, but I can't really understand you in this particular way. So let's just feel this and let it pass. And when we can take some deep breaths, maybe we can talk about it a little bit more. Because it's information coming forward. It's some piece of us coming forward to say, I'm trying to keep you safe. Something that I read this morning was something along the lines of the negative self-talk that runs through our heads is something we learned as kids to protect ourselves. But a child can't run an adult's life. And so now we can come in with that negative self-talk as our adult selves and kind of protect that inner child and care for that inner child that doesn't really know how to communicate any other way, and soothe them and calm them. As adults, we have that ability. So I thought that was an important key. Corinne really wants to, she was talking about how, there were times over this past year where she and I were trying to support each other, and we were both in such desperate straits that neither of us was resourced enough to be there for the other. And, if instead we had a community of folks that we knew we could depend on, it's kind of like this, um, shoot, the terms aren't coming to me right now, and I want to keep this short. But basically, if we knew that there was like a phone tree of people that we could, each of us could reach out to, that we know we're not going to get judged, we're not going to get shamed, we're just going to be heard and, supported in that way. It's kind of the folks we know through authentic relating or this, Soulsara community that I definitely got super deep into. If we had a community, a pool of folks who, we could be like, hey, I'm putting out a call. I need some support. Anyone have 15 minutes? So people could opt in and choose, be like, I feel resourced. I can be there for you. That could be really cool. So yeah, she wants to, she's hoping maybe the art of processing channel can be part of the spearhead for that. So we'll see. We'll start talking about it and see what happens. Not in supportive, but not enabling. That was a key word. Just a support network of folks who have had similar kind of communication training. So I thought that was great. Another really important key that I thought was great that she was talking about is, a lot of us have recognized this over this past year, that we have this training and this idea that, okay, when I do X or when I have X, I will feel fine. I will feel good, or I can relax then, or I can rest then. And actually, we got to flip that script and being ourselves and feeling rest and trust. Trust is more the key there. And knowingness that everything is going to eventually work out is actually step one. And it's more like, as I feel rest and secure and trust, the like prosperity, and I don't even want to refer to financial abundance specifically anymore, because honestly, I don't feel like I need to trade for money in order to get my needs met. I know that my needs can be met with or without the medium of currency to pay for them. And so while, yes, currently the simplest way to, to have the things that will make my life more comfortable and, the services that will be supportive of my health and happiness, currently the easiest way is to trade currency for those things. I'd rather cut currency out of the middleman and no longer be the middleman, and identify other ways to access those needs. So I'm definitely a big fan of flipping that script. And instead of saying, well, when I have money, I can then relax. When I have money, I can go on vacation. When I have money, I can get a massage. When I have money, I can fuck that shit. Let's see. And what's kind of really lovely, honestly, is there's a couple of people out there who just will randomly send me money every now and then. They're like, I just love the content that you put out. I have felt so much benefit from reading your posts, or, this one woman in particular has asked me for some specific recommendations that I've given her. I helped her find a TRE person, trauma release exercises. She wanted to work with someone to do that with, and I was able to help her find somebody. And so once in a while she sends me $50, and it's awesome. It's super awesome. I love it so much. But I love that it's not me saying, hey, you give me $50 and I will give you X information. Fuck that shit. Like the whole coaching industry, fuck that shit. So much of the wisdom that coaches are teaching others is stuff that we all should know and should have learned. If the world was a healthy place, we would have learned it just through the general course of our growing up. And so when somebody says you have to pay me for what I happen to learn, and it becomes this exchange in that way, like, no, that information is readily available. And while, yes, I don't want to get too much into this because it's not I have to be so careful what I say, and there's so many arguments, blah 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 blah. Basically, I think we should share, skill share, wisdom share. Kind of like what I would rather be is kind of more that the wise woman of the community. People don't pay me for my wisdom, but they support me in the ways that they can. And some people, the skill that they can offer me is a massage. And some people, the skill they can offer is, they go help somebody else and bring the community up. Even if I'm not directly receiving the benefit of sharing my wisdom or knowledge with someone else, I know that that is benefiting the community. And it all comes back around eventually. And if I'm helping others make sure their needs are met, then my needs will also be met. I love Marianne Williamson's book, Divine Compensation, is one that I read and reread quite a few times in 2020. And it really just felt like a confirmation of what I already believed and understood. But it was lovely to have a well-respected quote unquote expert confirm that. So, okay. So another nugget of wisdom that I think is super key is the holistic psychologist, which if you don't follow her already, get on it. She's amazing. I love how she breaks down wisdom in small little bite-sized pieces. And one of my favorite things is that I get a text from the holistic psychologist every day, and I will look up the number to sign up for it and put it in the description box. Like yesterday, the text I got from her was, "Holistic spiritual success has nothing to do with money. Though financial abundance may be a byproduct, spiritual success is about following your true passion, giving more than you take, and holding your vision relentlessly, even when it gets noisy." Heart, Nicole. Another one was, the ego has spent a lifetime protecting us from pain, from the parts of ourselves we deny, and from the role we play in every interaction. This keeps us safe. It also keeps us suffering. Okay, so another thing that I really wanted to share is this poem that Corinne brought to my attention. And I will also put a link to this in the description because when I found it on poetryfoundation.org, there's a there's a little thing that you could actually listen to the author Maggie Smith read this, but I'm going to read it real quick. Life is short, though I keep this from my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious, ill-advised ways. 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep from my children. The world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this from my children. For every bird, there is a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, a child broken, bagged, sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world is at least half terrible, and for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you. Though I keep this from my children, I am trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor walking you through a real shithole chirps on about good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful. And that was the piece that Corinne specifically called to my attention, was about how you look around the world and you can kind of objectively say in a lot of ways there's a lot of shit stuff that's a real fucking shithole. But it's got good bones. And this place could be beautiful. And you could make this place beautiful. So that's what we're doing in our own little corner of the world, is trying to make it just a little bit more beautiful. So thank you for being on the receiving end of this nugget dump. I kind of like this format of just a whole bunch of little ideas, and I don't have to expand on them a whole lot. Just like dump. um, and what some folks will also notice is that I recorded this live, and so if anyone was on the receiving end live, they got to watch it as I made it. So I'm sure it's only subscribers who would even notice that. So please subscribe. But then I'm going to schedule it so that it comes out a little bit later. So if you like to know things right in the moment, keep an eye out for my lives. I do intend to do a lot more of these, but then I'll schedule them to come out later. So yeah, it's about efficiency and ease. So again, thank you for being on the receiving end. I hope you have a kick-ass day, all the ups and downs and all the wiggle arounds. You could make this place beautiful.